Hello Afros, Locs, and Biz fam. This is Tia. I want to introduce this video really quick. This is an outtake to our episode 9, our special Father's Day episode. If you remember, my co-host Charles and I mentioned that this would be a separate release. We didn't really want to make that particular episode much longer than what it was and thought that this would be a great platform to release it. So I hope that by the telling of my dad's time in Vietnam, how he got drafted, and that process and what it looked like when he came back, it would give someone hope. It'll show you that patriotism comes in different shapes and forms, and sometimes it can be scary. So without further ado, here's that story.
Okay, first after I graduated from high school, I moved to New York, and ended up I started working at a manufacturer, and I'll say, I rephrase that, I'll say when I was 16 years old, I left South Carolina to get from out of the cotton field and the tobacco field because we been getting about $2 a day to work in that hot sun all day, and picking cotton, it was $2 100 pounds of cotton. That's a lot of cotton you have to pick a day. And then I had a brother-in-law, which they had moved to New York, and he came down and was working in the tobacco field with me. And he said, "Roy, you know what?" Said, "I like the way you work and stuff. So you want to come up to New York? I'll see that I get you up there when you get out of school this year," which I was promoted to the 10th grade. And I said, "Sure," like that. Sure enough, he sent for me, and I ended up getting a job at the candid manufacturer, Carousel. That was the name of it. And they started me off with $1.50 an hour, and that was good.
Goodness.
That was good money back in '62. That was in 1962. And $1.50 an hour. And after they take out the tax and stuff like that per weekly work, I was bringing in about $48 a week. And that was big money. You could take $10 and buy a week's supply of groceries from the grocery store. And and by our being wise and stuff, I saved my money, put me in a bank account. I was 16 years old, and placed my money in the bank, and come back home for a school term, and ended up went to school. And after the school, I went back to the city of New York, and it continued like that until I graduated from high school. So when I graduated from high school, they started the war in Vietnam around 64. And so round about, that's a 65, first part of 65, they sent me a letter. They want me to take the exam for service. They've been like throwing black ink because they need help to go over to Vietnam and fight. Especially black, they've been throwing us in there for left and right. And so I've been a wise kid. I told a lot of them, I said, you know what? I said, they're giving us this test to send us to Vietnam because they got the war going on over there. And during that time, Lyndon B. Johnson was the president there. And so I said, I'm not going to pass that test. I told a group of guys, I said, what you do? Let's just mark down anything on that phone. So when they give the test, we went down this way, did every one of them, every island. We did every one of them. And then, so after that afternoon, this general and colonel and stuff called me and 5 other young guys. All of us were black. And called us in a little separate room. and they shoot us out. And they told us, say, you know what? Said, we ain't no fool. Said, we know what's going on, what you did. Said, we got your school record, and we know what you can do. And say, we should throw you on in here anyway, because that's what they want to do anyway, throw us on in service. And I was so scared, my heart was beating. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, I got to go in service. I never see home again. And then downstairs, scare us up. Then I said at least about 15 minutes or more interrogating us, And so they said, what we going to do? We're going to let you go. We're going to let you go back home this time. Because the bus will be leaving out and taking us back to our destiny. And so they let us out. They said, don't worry. Say, what we going to do? Say, you think you're getting away, think you're smart. Say, we're going to get you, and we're going to get you soon. So I figured it went over with. If we ain't have to worry about it, we clear. About 6 months later, I'm back up in New York, got my good job working and stuff, and got the letter. Drafted. Ordered for me to come back home. That happened in 66.
Wow.
So I have to come back home and just bought me a car and all, doing good, because I've been in this field all my life and making pretty good money now and able to do for myself. And I tell you, coming back from New York, I cried. I didn't want to go in the service because I know they were fighting. You got to go face them bullets, dodging bullets, and don't know whether you can make it or not. And so when I entered the service, we had no other choice. So they took us through some hard infantry training. First, we went through the basic training and went through infantry training, basic and infantry. And then after we finished that, they sent me and about 4 through jungle warfare training. And that just like the Green Beret. I just had a hard life through everything, rough. And they sent us to Fort Polk, Louisiana. Everyone who is listening at this here know what I'm talking about. We went down to Louisiana, and they had everything set up just like you in Vietnam, because Louisiana had nothing but jungle, swamp, and all like that down through there, too. And so they had that area set that we have to run at all time when we ain't in our barrack. And that was rough. And so they sent us out on a infantry course at night and use a circumference. And we have to go out there and we get all by ourselves out through that woods, travel through that woods, that jungle, all them snakes and gators and all that stuff out there. And I don't know how we make it, but we got me and about 3 other guys kind of like grouped together, kind of ran in each other, have to cross a little ditch swamp like. And we hear a car running on the road. We hear that the road was nearby. Then we made it to that road, and we had never did made it to that designated area on our foot. So we went out to the road, and then a cow bull, heard us and came out of, bull running behind us, and we all run and scout all out over the field. And ran to the road. Then this truck came along, and we signed the truck down, and we caught there. And then we hated. We tell we hated it. So we know where it at, and it took us back to the base of there. And boy, see, that bull could have killed us too, out there like that. And so we left when we graduated from the jungle warfare training. We were Vietnam special. So they told us that that you know where you hate it. So ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no but name. Say some of y'all going to die. So we could tell you that now. So ain't no when you see you looking, thinking that you all want to go there and come back. Say some of you going to die.
Wait a minute, Dad. Wait a minute. Huh? Wait a minute. So after you got drafted, and I guess this was the speech that one of your officers was telling you all, just notifying you, letting you know that, hey, some of you all just not going to make it.
Yeah. That's what he told us, but it was fact, you know. He said, I'm going to be plumb right, tell you the truth. Said some of y'all not going to make it. And said maybe none of it might not make it. Said, but you might as well face the fact. So that meant a bad pill to swallow. Well, only thing we ask is to leave everything in God's hand and pray. Yeah, so we left. They sent us home for 2 weeks, enjoy our life, and we leave out from Fort Dix, New Jersey, catch the plane, Pan American airplane, and that plane that take us across sea. We left from New Jersey, and ended up we land in Oakland, California, and then we left, take off there from Oakland, California. We headed across the Pacific Ocean, and the plane, I've been sitting on the right hand side on the plane, by middle with the plane, by the wings side almost, a little far from the wing. Then this engine started burning. Plane started smoking. Boy, it been a rough trip that something didn't want us to go to Vietnam.
You know what, Dad? You know what? You just had a bumpy time the whole time. Just not intentionally not wanting to pass the test so you can get drafted. Just to be drafted. And then this is your first plane ride?
Well, no, this wasn't my first plane ride. But this, you know, as we been going on the plane, this is the way I think God had things fixed, you know. You go, end up the engine was burning. And then the plane, they told us that, we could see the big whale in the ocean, the big whale in the, you know, the water wave and whale and stuff. And then the plane coming down. We were traveling about 45,000 feet up in the air. And we coming down, and I looked down, oh, Lord, how much. Boy, we been gone. And so they allowed us to have that care filth for liquor in our duffel bag. And you should have seen all them GI on them. Nothing GI on it, you know. and a few airline students and stuff and the pilot. And boy, you should see everybody reaching up, grabbing their duffel bag and taking a big sip, because we thought we would go. And so we landed in Honolulu. As we landed in Honolulu, ain't nothing but water and the engine burning. We thought we would go down over that plane, come right down where skip over that water and land on that airline strip. And what a breeze. I said, Lord, have mercy. We made it. And then Honolulu, during that time, is still yet very expensive. The people that never been there, I tell you right now, anything that might be cost $1 here, it might be cost $5 out in Honolulu. Yeah, that trade market go over there, things is very high, very high. And so we stayed there about 3.5 to 4 hours. And we mounted, they put a new engine on the plane, on that right side. And then we all got on the plane and headed on toward Vietnam. And there, about all the scared once we got up there, you know, flying up there, everybody scared. nobody ain't going to go to sleep or nothing like that, And we flew about, I'll say about 2 hours. Then the rate that we ran into more problem with it, engine burning on both sides. One of the other engine on my side was burning, and then one on the other side. Oh, Lord, we know we be going there. And we laying at Guam Air Force Base, and you wish, coming down, we coming at laying, and went through the same situation we did when we laying at Honolulu. And we laying at Guam, and one that never been to Guam on a big rock. It's an Air Force base. It's about 5 miles diameter, and we got off the plane. All of that water from that ocean, just hitting up against that big. We laying at the rock thing. It was tremor, I said, oh boy, we were so scared. Boy, the one black guy was in the Air Force there. He looked at us and like, how do you live here, man? He said, you get used to it. He said, we realize y'all frightened to death. And I said, sure is. Man, the thing is trembling, you could feel it. And we said, well, we better go in the bit of the bowling alley and stuff like that to get our mind off of, and at least that relief our mind, cause that activity, then we couldn't feel all that jotting from the water and the trembling. And so they work on that plane and place new engine on both sides. And we got back on the plane, and so we went on toward Vietnam, and all of us been going through something so scared. And then we finally figured everything is all right, and we went on to sleep. It took 26 hours to fly from Fort Dix, New Jersey to Vietnam. And I'm speaking of all in the air flying, not when we stop or nothing like that. That's just flying in the air. 26 hours. Wow. That's a lot of flying. And when we out of Vietnam, now you don't see nothing but little dull Calvin light and Tosh light and stuff like that. It's pitiful. They're like you see on TV back in the jungle and stuff. So Lord have mercy. We came down on the air trip, and it do a lot of raining there, very lot of raining. And when we land, the plane and threw all that water and it stopped. We got off the plane, water been hitting us almost halfway our knee. That the water fell on the ground and stuff. Whew, Lord have mercy. And then they had all us to go to tents. That's all we had to stay in tents. We went in the tent. They got all our names, make sure that everybody was present who were there and thing, who left the United States. And that night, late hour that night after they put us to bed, some of them guys, the white guys, they couldn't take it. They let us a holler and cry. Pitiful. And laying there, thinking, we all, scared and nervous, and the scenery pitiful, and then they crying pitiful. Wake up the next morning. They have us down. They have a roll call and let everybody know where they be headed to. You have different designated areas they're going to send each one of us. And see, they have people coming in at all time from different directions, nothing but GI there. And I was there for about 3 days, I say. And then they sent me to a place called Swan Locs, 70 miles southwest of Saigon. And all of those them and stuff coming in and mowing around and things. Boom, shabbing all night and stuff like that. We have to go through all of that. I mean, it was terrible. And Charlie out there shooting at the place where you were staying at and things like that. And so you have to hit the bunker and hit for cover. And it just was rough. And that your first 3 months there, your life is in danger. They had a saying says you can live the first 3 months, you can make it. And that really comes true, because that first 3 months.
What was it about? Oh, I'm sorry. What was it about the first 3 months, Dad?
You go through something. Your life is at stake. So you gotta learn all the basics to get used to the climate. Then you gotta get adjust to Charlie out there shooting at you and stuff. And see, that first 3 months is rough. That is like a baby just learning how to walk. And see, you gotta go through that basic. And a lot of GI get killed that first 3 months. And then after that, you breathe through it. And the last 3 months, your life is in danger again, because your time is getting short. And you'll be going home soon. And a lot of them get killed there. So I was fortunate. I ended up, I'm well presented to them. And they build while the rest of them still eat tent, they build a billet hole for the GI to have something to do when they ain't in the field fighting. And they put me in charge of it. A new place, Big Ten place, pool table and stuff. That was something good. And I was in charge of it, baby. And then I stayed. I think I had about 4 months left over there. And so that what I did the last 4 months. I didn't have to go out and face some bullet from Charlie. And when before they built this place, put me on it, we were on the scout patrol. We driving these Jeeps. They call us the Scoutmen. And they say a thing, this old movie they come on TV called Rat Patrol. And the Rat Patrol, they had about 4 different gun Jeeps and stuff like that. And we were doing the same thing. We used to escort convoys and stuff like that from Saigon back to Swan Up, going through all these little villages and stuff, getting shoot at and attacked and stuff like that. They ain't up, they hit my Jeep one time. It be raining so hard over there, they call it monsoon season. You can't hardly see your hand in front of it. And then the Jeep, then all these bullets coming down at the Jeep, and then the driver, the Jeep hit there. Someone got hit in front, he had to hit brake. The Jeep to slide around in the road. And I'm standing back there on the machine gun, and it slang me off the Jeep. And my leg hit a big rock. There's nothing more big rock thing on the side. These old rough road, old bumper to bump road. And they go Charlie up on the cliff with machine gun, and he was shooting right down on me. Pop, 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 pop. Nothing but I was sitting up in them flares. You got flares supposed to come out every 5 rounds, and then I'm in the bullet in between those flares, and them bullet coming right at me, and it looked like it get to me. It just vied off of my face. That was God, the miracle work of God that saved me. And that thing made me so mad I could have, damn it got straight. I would have tried to drag myself off. My leg kind of paralyzed, hitting that rock, and them bullets started coming at. And then some of our troop airplane came in and started shooting that Charlie up on top of the cliff and chased him away. And I got to my Jeep, crawled in my Jeep. I unlocked the machine gun. And I said, I'm going to shoot up every village that we go through. I'm going to kill every one of them. And so they begged me not to, and the sergeant and stuff called that woolly belly against the company policy. I would have violated that policy. They probably would have put me in prison, something like that. Tell them, don't do that. And I cried because I like to be killed, or something like that. And so that is close as I came at it, all them bullets. I assume it probably been 500 or 1,000 head of bullet come at me down there in the Jeep. Just going by my head, I could have feel the heat wave from the bullet.
Wow. Dad, yeah, you know what? You could have been gone.
That's right. So I figured been the work of the hand of God saved me. And I came back and I went to Fort Carson, Colorado from Vietnam. I made book sergeant in less than 2 years, which you seen the picture where I got them stripes stuff, and too many people could make stripe like that, rank like that quick, which I made it. Because my ability and what I went through and what I know.
ALB Video Shorts is a production of Zuri Media. This episode was produced and edited by Tia Brown, and the theme music is Scratch the Itch by Kinkas Morera. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and new to the mix, YouTube. Yes, ALB now have a YouTube channel. Just search for Afros, Locs, Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye-bye.